Coming soon to a theater near you.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Marin. It is episode 16 of the Real Ones podcast. It's been some time, but you know, things is happening. I'm here with my man, 150 grand, RB3. What's going on, brother?
And nothing much, man. Just busy, on the grind.
I hear
trying
that.
to stay busy.
Hey, we've been on the grind, this spring, summer. You know why?
Yeah.
You know why we've been on the grind.
Right.
And I'm here to inform some of you. If you don't know now, you know. The strike is over. SAG-AFTRA, they work some things out with the studios, you know what I'm saying? And Hollywood is back, I had people hit me up when the WGA strike ended, and they just like, oh, John, aren't you happy? I'm like, nah, it ain't done yet. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the writers, but it ain't done yet. You know what I'm saying? But
work.
yeah, so now they worked on some things. Do you know the details of what was worked out?
Yeah, I think they got most of what they're asking for. A big $40 million bonus if a show is successful on streaming. So if shows like Suits that have just been like popping off lately, like get super, they get a boost if they hit some sort of algorithm. I think the one thing that I've been kind of hearing numbers of, I don't know if it's like fully true or not though. I heard they kind of lost out on the AI stuff. Like,
yeah, I was about to get on that. Yeah,
I heard that's not really they didn't really get what they wanted to on those levels. And I heard some actors are kind of like maybe starting to be a little bit more not happy with that side of it. So, but
I did hear that like in the case of like deceased actors and stuff like that they have to get permission and they have to get compensated if they use like say Christopher Reeves popped up in The Flash, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like going forward, I heard, is that true that they would have to get permission and then compensate the families?
I guess so. I would hope so. I don't even know how that even wouldn't be legal like now, honestly.
Right.
Like, because when you watch The Flash, that was kind of nasty when they had
Chris
Reeves show up. They had some other like old people show up too. It was like, I don't know. And then they de-aged Nicolas Cage as I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. Just leave it all alone. Hollywood's nasty, man.
Yes. Yo,
place.
I'm telling you, this whole ordeal just, like, we knew it, but this just really put it on the forefront just how nasty Hollywood could be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But once again, man, the strike is over. Shout out to those that were affected. I know a lot of people, had to put up homes and stuff like that. And unfortunately, some people had to go back home. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least they had that safety net. But I feel for the brothers that had to go back home, man. It's nothing like having your own place. Then you got to go back home, stay with your moms.
Yeah,
that shit is the blow.
It's a second pandemic, bro. It's a second pandemic.
That shit is the blow, man. Yeah. But yo, shout out to everybody who's in the front lines. No shout out to the people that was using this as a rollout. You know who you are. Motherfuckers was doing press. Motherfuckers is paying for bands to come out and dance with motherfuckers. Like, no shout out to you. There was a lot of opportunists came out with this shit. There was some people that wasn't even really about that life, but just kind of doing it to save face. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That shit is not cool. Yeah. Also, if you are an actor that don't have a SAG card, you've only been in some student films, don't be getting online to me, oh, it's time to go to work. You go to work, motherfucker. Where is your job? What are you doing? Your ass was not on strike. Right. Your ass was at home bullshit. You were not on strike. Like that shit. We're back, y'all. There's nothing worse than somebody with no job telling you to go to work. Who the fuck are you?
Or arguing for you to like not get work.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go back to work, motherfucker. But yeah, again. My peeps, I know people that had to go live with their moms. Yeah, that shit is whack, bro.
Yeah, it's right.
Look, listen, we appreciate our mothers, or whoever could hold us down. But
I live with my mom, so
that's cool.
I'm in LA, so it's like kind of the benefit.
But when you got your own spot in Hollywood, you know what I mean. You do whatever, you come in and out as you please, and you got to go back home.
Yeah, it's tough.
That shit is rough.
It's rough.
On set, your name is Bart. At home, you Bartholomew now. Your mother got a curfew on you now. Now she pressing you. She's telling you to take showers. You ever had your mother tell you to take a shower, dog?
Not my mom. Thank God. I keep myself up nice,
when I was coming up, and young boys are going through puberty.
Back in that age.
Yeah.
Back
my
then,
mother was just like, you stink.
Yeah.
That was her way of telling me to go take a shower. You know what I'm saying? So just as a grown man, you dealing with that. Then you know, you used to have your own place. You could go bag the joints, try to bring the joints back home. You can't do that no more, man. Can't bring the joints back home. You
And
sneaking
no bachelor pad no more. Man.
Yeah, you trying to sneak them in the crib. Then the blow is the next morning when you got to get them out the crib. You know what I'm saying?
You know, keep them quiet enough until after your mom leaves work.
Oh, yeah, you gotta hold them hostage in the room. Like, you know, you got the bathroom between you and your mom's room. Your mom up early praying and shit. You just like, yo. You got her in the room, just like, yo, trying to make dumb conversations. Like, yo, you think Trump gonna run again? She's like, boy,
no, please.
I gotta go to work. Get me out this room. Like, yo, chill, my mom praying, son. Your mom speaking in tongues and shit. Shana Bella Lugosi. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit is not.
You gotta show you, that's
that is not fun, right, dog. That shit is not fun. Trying to get a shorty out the crib the next morning to try to, you know, you want to avoid that walk of shame. You don't want your mother seeing, you know what I mean?
Right. How you living in
your lifestyle, man.
You know
that's
right.
Yo, so if you dealing with that, now it's over. Go get your.
Well, you know what though? It's kind of weird because these theater kids, you know, they a different level of sluttery. You know what I mean? Like they go out there and, you know, they move like, you know, like. They go anywhere, anything, you know, type situation. Like you heard that, you know, David Bowie, like he was out in these streets like nine days out the week. Like that's how Hollywood just like get people moving. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, if you don't got, you know, if you at home, you just ain't got that, you ain't in the space no more. You know what I mean? That spot, so.
Yeah. But you know, again, you know, shit is, you know, it's not gonna be right away. I mean, I heard some production start. I think
Stranger Things is about to start up.
I know Millie Bobby Brown can't wait for that startup because she's ready to leave that shit.
Well,
she's over it.
I think everybody's ready to leave it. Honestly.
Yeah.
I think David Harbour's ready to leave it. Honestly, I mean,
I
think honestly, you know what I mean, like. And maybe I'm just feeling some sort of animosity towards that Noah Shalib dude, Shalep.
Oh, Noah Schnapp.
Yeah, Schnapp, whatever his name is. You know what I mean?
I've seen that.
Gets on Twitter. I mean, listen, bro. I respect all religions, all ideologies.
Yeah, he said what? He said Zion. He was promoting some sticker.
Yeah, he was like, I'm Zionist and sexy or something like that. You know, just really making a joke and mockery out
of the Israel
this whole situation that's happening right now. And in the wrong, there shouldn't be any jokes about this. Timothy Chalamet on Saturday Night Live, that was nasty.
Wait, what did he do?
I mean, they just had some sketch where he was like playing I guess his band was named Hamas. And then like,
come on,
he was like, you know, you can't be supporting Hamas. I don't know, some joke. It was so funny. I didn't even want to watch it. I just saw that.
I didn't know about it. I'm surprised that didn't come across my radar.
Yeah. I mean, we got to have a real conversation about like these issues. You know what I mean, with Palestine, with everything. I want a free state for people where no more civilians are getting killed. We need a ceasefire.
Absolutely, ceasefire for sure.
Yeah.
And you know, stop hitting us. I seen, you know, you know who Van Jones is?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That corny Negro. I seen him yesterday at the March for Israel doing this. The Jewish supporters doing civil rights. Like, listen, stop trying to bait us in that, like guilt trip us for our beliefs and call for ceasefire by saying shit like that. We know that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on the side of, I just brought, I mean, this is so bad. But I just brought Schindler's List on Blu-ray. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, I'm gonna be more of an ally. Got Superbad up there. Got all this. You know what I mean? Just a sausage party.
Oh,
so it's just like, nah. But on the real level, though.
No, like, that is you took a page out the white playbook. I watched Boys in the Hood. I saw Do the Right Thing.
Yeah, Black Panther. I like that movie. Yeah.
Wakanda Forever. I'm with you. No, but seriously, you know, it's like we know that, like, you know, and I don't like when they try to do that, because it's like the minute you call for shit to chill out. First of all, we understand the history of what's going on over there.
Yeah.
The minute we call for things like a ceasefire and kind of point out that Israel, especially the IDF, they on some bullshit.
Yeah.
They want to hit you with the textbook, like, you know, are you against all Jews? Typical shit that they always do. The minute you say anything about, Jewish anything, it's just like anti-Semite.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like it's very defensive. Like, don't say nothing about us. Like, so it's like, yo, don't hit me with the whole thing. I know that they was, you know, Bernie Sanders is one of them that was in the front lines. I know that. I respect that, but that doesn't mean I'm, you know, that shit broke me the other day when I'm looking at a video of this little kid trembling, covered in dust, bloody. He looked just like my son. Just like him. And then I seen another one where there was this guy speaking to the press, and I think he worked for like the government over there in Palestine. And he picks up a kid, and it's just like holding this dead kid, like, look at this. And that kid looked like my son too. So shit like that really bothers me. And it's like, we're not saying all Jews are this or whatever the case may be. We're just like, yo, stop. Like,
stop.
You're killing civilians. Like, there's like, I think something like 4,000 kids or something like that.
5,000 kids, 12,000 civilians.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I think 46% of the Gaza Strip is just
you're leveling hospitals.
Right.
People in the hospital for a broken arm, and they just, you know.
Babies trying to get born, like newborns.
So
that's my thing. Is like I definitely condemn like Hamas for like doing that whole situation, like for starting the whole killing those 14,000 Israelis. I definitely don't think that's cool. That's awful. Then it's also awful for the government to put down 10 times as much damage on the other side. So that's my thoughts on that. But.
Also, if you have a platform, you could do what we doing. Like, if you have a platform, you can do this. I saw that chick that there's the meme. It's like a meme or a gif of her just kind of being like disgusted and kind of being like, her name is Bonnie something.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I actually interviewed her. Not I interviewed her, but I worked with Anthony Padilla during the time where he like interviewed her like as one of his shows.
Well, like I want to say either 2 weeks or 2 months. I can't remember. She was just like, you have this platform. You got to use the platform to talk about what's going on in the world and peace. And then when it comes time to talk about this, why the fuck would I want to talk about that? So, you know, like, don't do that. Like, I hate performative activism. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. And I hate when it's transactional. Like people like Amy Schumer.
Right.
Oh, you know, we stood for Black Lives Matter. Stand for us. No.
Nah, right.
Don't be making tabs of what you do for me, so I gotta do. Don't do that.
Yeah,
don't
shows me the real colors right
you
there.
feel me? You feel me? And she's like DMing black women and stuff like that, and attacking them in the DMs, and just it's a lot of weird shit.
We should all want peace in the Middle East.
Absolutely.
No more taking those Martin Luther King quotes like mad out of
oh my god!
context
And shout out to Martin Luther King's daughter. I think Bernice King is her name. She called out, I think, Amy Schumer or whoever was like using her father's it's so crazy. I was just watching a documentary on CNN, well, on Max, but it's a CNN documentary called 1968. Very bloody year, by the way. And they was talking about Martin Luther King and the public perception of him. And white people were not feeling him back then. You know what I'm saying? So to see some of these Republican politicians that, or you know, conservative people in general that who I know 60 or 50 something 60 years ago, they'd be like, this is Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To see them now try to rebrand and rewrite his whole narrative and use his quotes to push their agendas, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. So shout out to Bernice King for putting the kibosh on that. Like, stop, keep her father's name out your mouths and use it in proper context. Because don't be trying to use it. She was like, my father would not be for this shit. So cut the bull. You know what I'm saying?
That's deep. That's deep. Well, I will say though, I think Joseph Ashley, listener of the show, he proposed an interesting proposal on Twitter about the Martin Luther King movie that's going to be directed by Chris Rock. What if they get Roy Walsh Jr. playing Martin Luther King? You know what I mean? Would you be feeling that?
No.
Now you want to be
because it's like, he kind of do favor him. Kind of.
Yeah.
But I'm not a fan of the whole they favor them, let them play him thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Again, perfect example, Malcolm X.
Yeah.
Denzel looks nothing like Malcolm X.
True.
But he embodied that. So it's all about the acting. I love Roy Woods Jr., by the way. He's hilarious. But him being Martin Luther King, directed by Chris Rock, I don't know, man. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it'll be tough to overcome David Oyelowo's performance in Selma. Like, that was a real groundbreaking performance.
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. He's all right.
He's all right.
He's okay.
Like, was he British? Is that the main thing he wasn't wearing?
I feel like years ago I saw a quote from him about the whole British Black American thing that I didn't like.
Yeah.
So I think I'm kind of cool on him.
Right.
You know, I'm kind of cool on him.
Yeah,
But
man. I remember when Clubhouse was popping up. Like that was a conversation like almost every day. I'm like,
Really?
hey, Black actor, Clubhouse, like British dudes would be getting upset for hours. Like, how dare we? We deserve the same opportunities as y'all. Yeah.
You know what was crazy? When season 2 of She's Gotta Have It came out, there's an episode where that's discussed, and you know, I came across a lot of Black Brits that was like, oh hell no, like they wasn't feeling how that conversation went. And Samuel's, because you know, there's a scene where Nola is dating this English brother or like African brother, something like that, and like they start talking about that, and a lot of it was pulled from something that Samuel L. Jackson said about the situation,
right?
And yeah, the Black Brits that I met around that time, they were just like, you know, I'm not feeling that. It's just a lot of, it's crazy. Black folks, we got a lot of internal shit to figure out.
Yeah,
man. You know, the Africans don't like us. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the Black American and Caribbean beef. Then you got
light skins,
dark skin.
Yeah.
Listen, all this shit, oppression caused all this shit. So let's all blame the white man for all of this.
Yeah, all of it, every single bit of it.
That's it.
I'm blaming the white man on the fact that we don't have a single major light skinned male movie star in the world. You know
what
you
mean?
There's not. Think about it. A male light-skinned movie star other than Terrence Howard.
He ain't even that guy anymore. Man. He ain't that guy anymore.
Yeah, he was that guy in 08. Damn. You know what I mean?
Michael Ealy was homo. He didn't become a superstar.
That's what I'm saying. Think about it, because what is white Hollywood trying to perpetuate? Like the darker you are, the blacker you are. I don't know, you know, kind of tie this like these ideas of masculinity.
I charge the white man.
Right. Yeah. Listen. I'm black and I'm, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's how. This is all actually from this is a YouTuber I'll be listening to. He does amazing video essays. His name's FD Signifier. Like, he actually pointed that out in one of his videos. Like, yeah, every single male black movie star is pretty much, you know, is pretty much like as dark as night. You know what I mean? Like almost. I mean, lightest you're gonna get is like Will Smith, pretty much. You know what I mean? But like, you definitely think of like Wesley Snipes. You know, like Denzel. Like a lot of these guys. It's, you know, it's like tied to like this idea of masculinity and stuff like that. So
I gotta look into that.
Interesting. Whereas like all the female black movie stars are light skinned. You know what I mean? So
yeah, you
like,
know what that's about.
Right.
That shit is just
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look into that. But you know, so let's get back on track with the film.
Right? Yeah. We just talking crazy. It's just early morning.
It's crazy. Yeah. No. Listen, it's crazy, but it ain't crazy. Excuse me. This is all real conversation. It still pertains to the theme of things, but you know, I just want to get back on track and talk about our guy, the maestro. Martin Scorsese, in my opinion, masterpiece, Killers of the Flower Moon. I saw that when we was recording the last episode. I went straight to Burbank, caught that late show. Got home like almost 3 a.m, but it was well worth the time. I stayed up. Killers of the Flower Moon, if you don't know, is about, which I didn't know was a true story. That shit blew my, because the shit stuck with me for a while. You know, in Oklahoma, there was a you know, not a colony, like just a native community that lived on this land, and apparently they struck a deal with like the government, that the government was like, look, you could stay on this piece of land, and they kind of gave them some land that didn't have shit. Like it was just like, oh, they gonna just. There's no resources, whatever. The government kind of, you know, on some government should cut the deal. Like, yeah, you can have this. Fuck it, they're gonna die off in that shit anyway. There's nothing over there. They fucking strike oil.
Yeah, gold.
They strike oil
during the peak of it.
Yeah. And this is when, you know, the car business was starting to ramp up, and you know they needed that oil. They strike oil, they become lit. They got they houses, they rich. They got white servants. Yeah. They got white people begging for jobs and shit like that. So they lit. You know, at the same time, Black Wall Street is happening too. So Oklahoma is an interesting time around the 20s. But of course, the minute some people of color start blowing up, there's gonna be a white man somewhere hating, and people in the community start getting clipped. You know, showing up dead, mysterious circumstances. You know, no investigations, just all of that shit. So the movie really takes place in that time where we meet Leonardo DiCaprio's character. He comes home from war. it was the Spanish War or something like that, right?
Something like that.
Something like that. You know, his uncle, I think Robert De Niro was his uncle.
Yeah.
You know, and his uncle was like, he got bread. He's well renowned. He's a ally to the people.
He's like a doctor of like the town. Or
yeah,
like
he's an ally of the people. And this stuff start to pop off. Leonardo DiCaprio character meets a woman. Some of her family starts dying off and stuff like that. And this takes place all around that time. And basically, it was based on a true story. I didn't know. That shit was amazing. Lily Gladstone, she was great in it. She was great. She played Molly. That's the lady Leonardo DiCaprio got married to. She was great in it. You know, it was amazing. I was really like and it was cut so well. Them 3.5 hours, I didn't feel that shit at all. Like I was so glued and focused onto it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it was amazing. It was amazingly made, man. It was perfectly crafted. I felt like just on a technical level, it was really good. I mean, I personally I loved it on a filmmaking level. As a watcher, I feel kind of conflicted about it, man. You know what I mean? Because it's based on a true story, so I feel like we could kind of divulge a little bit of details. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, stop listening, I guess. You know what I mean? What it comes out to being is that Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio are plotting to kill a lot of these members of the Osage Nation.
Which sorry to cut you off, because I didn't know it was a true story. That threw me off when it was revealed in the film.
Right. Yeah, Scorsese comes out at the end and kind of has a real.
That was cool, by the way.
Yeah, that was interesting.
I like that.
That felt very. Yeah, that was very artsy. That was cool. It was just just being in the protagonist seat of Leonardo DiCaprio's character just really makes it tough to be this was because I a lot of Native American prominent actors and critics have come out and kind of echoed the sentiment too, but having it from the perspective of his character kind of makes it seem more. You feel more empathetic for him.
Yes.
You feel more understanding of what he's doing, as if because he is being manipulated from his uncle Robert De Niro's character.
And there was a consultant on the film. I saw. I think it was on the red carpet or something. There was a consultant on the film that basically said the same thing. He was I think it's a cool film, but I have issues with this.
As an Osage, I really wanted this to be from the perspective of Molly and what her family experienced. But I think it would take an Osage to do that. Martin Scorsese not being Osage, I think he did a great job representing our people. But this story is being told, this history is being told almost from the perspective of Ernest Burkhart. And they kind of give him this conscience and they kind of depict that there's love. But when somebody conspires to murder your entire family, that's not love. That's not love. That's just beyond abuse.
He's in the movie too. He's in the very
first, right?
He's in the beginning of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah. So he was in it. It's just because of the choice of the protagonist, right? But then again, it goes to speaking that's Scorsese's thing, right? That's what Taxi Driver is inside of the mind of a killer. That's what Kings of Comedy. That's what that is as well. That's what a lot of his films are. Casino, Goodfellas, taking you inside the minds of the most amoral kind of people.
Yeah.
With this one, it's kind of interesting because whereas a lot of Scorsese's protagonists I feel are kind of smart, maybe some of them are kind of dumb, but Leonardo DiCaprio's character in this movie is extremely dumb. So it's just making it seem like this little kid in a grown man's body being kind of used in the puzzle piece, which again it just makes it feel more empathetic to what the actual situation was, which again if it was. And I think that's why, some of those critics will say if it took place from Molly's perspective, more or less, then I made it,
but
like that. But
but Scorsese came out and it's so funny. Of course, the white film bros had to tap in.
Right.
Scorsese came out and was like, "Yo, I want to tell this from the perspective of the natives." You know what I'm saying? He said because the book that's based on really goes heavy on the FBI side of things.
Yeah.
And of course, they talking about Scorsese like he's. He's an amateur,
right,
or he's fishing for an Oscar. He's trying to make it diverse just to get an Oscar.
He's trying to get woke.
He don't need that shit.
Right.
He don't need that shit. He's come out and said that he don't need that shit to validate his work. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. But as he said that, I was kind of surprised that as I came out of it, and because the minute I got out of that film, the next morning I started looking into the real story, and I was like, oh shit, yeah, he did kind of tell it through, just like as you explained it, and it's just kind of like, did he tell it in their perspective? Like, it's still very much, what I'm saying, like very empathetic towards that character that was very much involved in the genocide of the people.
Right, which is, not, and then, but maybe that's what makes great cinema, right? Maybe that's like what exploring interesting characters, flawed characters, and like flawed, like gray moral sensibilities are, right? That's what a lot of great cinema does. But I feel like with this, particular story, I mean, and then Scorsese, I think, coming out at the end and proclaiming like, this is wrong. This is why, like, these white people are basically evil for doing this, essentially.
Yeah.
He basically says that directly to the viewer to let you know, like, hey, this is how I feel about it. But, there's also just exploring that perspective for most of the movie. It just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I just feel like, with race and with just, I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, like, being a white director, I guess he does feel the obligation to, like, have responsibility.
Yeah.
But then it's still, like, through the perspective of whiteness, essentially.
Yes.
So, it's no shame to Scorsese. It's no shame to, like, the storytelling. Because the storytelling is phenomenal. Some of the best we've seen this year, for sure. Like, it's probably one of my top 3 or 4 favorite movies of the year, just on a pure filmmaking level.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, it's hard to escape those feelings too. You know what I mean?
I always say, in your most earnest of efforts, especially white men, white people, the story, when it's told through your lens, you just don't. There's just you miss. There's no seasoning. If not to cut ass on them, but it's just like you lack something that a black or native filmmaker or Hispanic would tell with these stories. The minute you jump in to tell stories of other people, it still comes from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like if you, RB, want to make a film about Stokely Carmichael and you lose out to a white filmmaker, of Stokely Carmichael. You know what you live in the community. We're kind of born with that, the trauma and everything of the past. We kind of it's more authentic when it comes from us as opposed to a white filmmaker that got to go do research. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell when somebody's doing research and when somebody's speaking from a real place.
Right.
You could tell the difference.
Right.
So at the end of the day, it still comes off that way.
Yeah, it still comes off, but it's very close to, getting like both sides. I mean, it's very close to getting to the native understanding. I mean, there's one scene where the chief is just cooking like in the tent, like he's kind of giving a monologue, like these white people are taking everything from us, and the camera just sits still on him for like almost 5 minutes or something like that. Film just going off. That was amazing, seeing the beginnings of the film, like seeing their heritage and tradition and seeing that wool exploration going off. Even at the end when they're like having those like funeral services and the drums, it was like all the shots, everything felt like a very beautiful representation of the Osage culture for sure. Yeah. It was just, it's still, it's just, that's just how the nature of the movie is. No offense to the movie.
Yeah.
I guess, when you have to review the movie that you're watching and not the movie that you want to watch, right? So I guess the movie that I watched, it was it was a phenomenal piece of cinema.
Yes. So. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know about you, I approve of Lily Gladstone winning that Best Actress.
Oh yeah,
being nominated as Best Leading Actress. Big emphasis on the leading, and winning that because her story was heartbreaking. Yeah, so heartbreaking.
She definitely deserves to be a winner. I definitely think I just saw this movie called Anatomy of a Fall. That won the Palme d'Or this year for and it's actually the second film directed by a woman to win the Palme d'Or. But the lead actress in that, I'm trying to get her name. I think it's Sandra Holler, German woman. She definitely deserves to be in that conversation as well. Like that's an amazing performance. It's basically about a husband, it's about a domestic family, wife, husband, kid. Husband just basically is found dead like at the beginning of the movie by the son. And then it's kind of becomes it's a courtroom drama of like, did she do it? Who did it? There was really nobody else in the house like who could have done it, you know what I mean? So, but it's not like a traditional kind of like thriller or anything. Like it's a French movie, so it's a very like heady and like what are they trying to, it's just basically like who really did it? Like, is she really guilty or not? And it's never really clearly explained or anything like that, but it's just like her performance is just so quietly like you could just tell there's something like underneath that's just boiling up, and it's a tough movie, man. It was a 2 hours and 20 minutes. Amazing film right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Anatomy of a Fall.
Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 hours and 30. Yeah. So, and then she has a lawyer who she kind of ends up, persuades to get involved with the case, and he kind of gets too deep involved too. It's just very interesting, man. It's like a very classic lawyer drama, but a very classic courtroom drama, but like very restrained too. Very restrained and very from a very delicate, specific, detail-oriented perspective.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely keep an eye out for that. But segueing from Martin Scorsese, we know the maestro himself has had some opinions about the landscape of film as of right now, which is pretty much dominated by tentpole films and superhero films specifically. Something that Steven Spielberg also 10 years ago definitely warned us about. He definitely said, yo, at some point, the tentpole films is going to be the ones carrying Hollywood, and we don't want to get to that point. Well, we're here. So The Marvels was just released, the latest MCU offering starring Teyonah Parris. What was the name? Brie Larson, yeah, and
Iman Vellani.
Vellani, which is basically a sequel to both Captain Marvel and the Miss Marvel series. And these three women team up to be the big bad, and now it was directed by Nia DaCosta, who directed Candyman.
We're big fans of.
Yes,
we're both big fans
we're both big fans of it. And I went to go see it. Now, let me give you some backstory. When the film was announced, it got hate the second it was announced. And we all know why. Women.
Right.
Women is in the forefront.
The first Captain Marvel got a lot of hate.
I didn't like it. But it had nothing. Let me tell you something. Brie Larson, she's boring. The character is boring.
And Brie Larson just in general, or just in this movie, like
in general, there's nothing about Brie Larson that's just like, oh my gosh, she's great. It's just nothing about her. And then the character, and like Marvel's really doing Captain Marvel no favor. Just nothing about this character that's like, I really like her. It's nothing at all. I have no emotional investment whatsoever, bro. Like I went into Captain Marvel like, yo, let me see. And I came out of that like, okay, like, all right, I guess I got to see Nick Fury, younger. Young version, yeah. I got this explanation as to how his eye got jacked up, but I didn't really get anything else. I don't even remember what was the post-credit of that film. That film was just like, I was just over it when it was done. Like, it wasn't bad, it just was whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely the setup between Infinity War and Endgame. You know what I mean? That's really why I feel like it made $1 billion. It had a lot of, but I also feel like, it was also time for Marvel to make a woman superhero movie.
Of course.
Too. That's also the big reason why I think it got the big praise. It came after Wonder Woman,
which I didn't like either.
Yeah,
I didn't like Wonder Woman either. I don't know. Again, y'all, it has nothing. I'm not an incel. Okay, it has nothing to do with women being in the forefront. I checked out these movies because Wonder Woman's an iconic character.
Right.
And I was kind of checked out on DCEU already, but I said, let me give this a chance. And it just didn't do nothing for me. And then same for Captain Marvel. It just didn't do anything for me.
Right.
But going into this film, I was excited because Teyonah Parris is playing Photon, who was originally Captain Marvel back in the day. She was the original Captain Marvel until they made Captain Marvel a white man.
Yeah, and then and then they had the Captain Marvel side of it. Yeah. And it's like a whole long weird story.
Yeah, it's very convoluted. And then I enjoyed Miss Marvel.
Beautiful show.
Yeah, it was, I like the angle they took with it. It was very much like it was very Disney light. I tried to get my daughter to watch it. My daughter's just into YouTube. YouTube kind of Sniper Wolf and shit like that. So
really? Nice.
Trying to get her to watch like a show, it's like, she has to be invested.
Yeah. So that's a very YouTube heavy show though. She had a YouTube
that's
channel,
why I was telling her, yo, watch this. But I don't know. My daughter, I don't know. But so I was looking forward to this film, and the minute it was announced, it was kind of like, oh, everybody was this thing, and then Marvel was already starting to kind of turn on audiences, or the audiences were starting to turn on Marvel. So them announcing this film did not help. And then the trailer came out, and I remember being in the theater. I can't remember what movie I saw. Trailer played, and everybody was like, I remember some guy was like, okay, like real dismissive, like, all right. So going into the Marvels, my expectations wasn't high. I had already heard that Nia DaCosta was kind of already like kind of double dipping between projects.
Yeah, okay, but to be fair, a lot of directors do that.
Yeah,
you know
no.
Throughout history.
100%. But I'm just saying, like, I was kind of hearing that, and the way it was presented was like she's over it. Like, so it's like it was a lot of pre-hate. Like a lot of like hate coming out before the movie even dropped. It was, and then that Variety article dropped. With the whole Marvel drama behind the scenes and all that stuff, which I feel a way about, because I feel like they pitched a lot of the blame on diversity. Yeah, 100%. It was like porn for incels, white incels. You know what I'm saying? It was like they were just like, oh yeah, look at this. This is why everything is going wrong. Being woke doesn't pay off, and all that dumb shit.
Right. Which, by the way, that actually did pay off in their biggest ways when it came to Black Panther, the first Captain Marvel, stuff like that. And if you read that MCU book, which I've been raving about, it's about the history of how MCU took over the business. They talk about how for years they had Ike Perlmutter, one of the most racist, sexist Hollywood. He wasn't even Hollywood. He just owned Marvel. He was like the president or like the CEO of Marvel or something like that. And he blocked Feige from making mad movies early on, like a Luke Cage movie, obviously Black Panther movie from, earlier in the MCU. Just was mad budget tight. They couldn't even, their office space in Marvel, like, didn't even have, like, proper chairs. Like, all their chairs was broken. Like, they didn't have, it was like a real, like, they was living low budget, cheap, and broke, basically, under this dude. So then
they almost went under.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But they did, but then this is when they were still making billion-dollar movies. Like, this is when they were making Avengers, and James Gunn was coming into their office, like, they're working out of an asshole, like shithole, basically.
Oh, wow.
And then, but then, because Ike Perlmutter was, racist, sexist, and tight with the grip with the money. So that's why, like, for a lot of years, we didn't get these. That's why when the Variety article talks about, they made stars out of guys named Chris. Yeah, because they weren't able to get approved for movies that were with non-white starring stars. I mean, they didn't even sell Black Widow toys when the first Avengers movie came out. And when the second Avengers movie came out, she was on that motorcycle in the trailer. Huge moment. But when they put the toy out for it, Captain America was on that motorcycle instead of Black Widow.
And remember what I told you? I told you in one of the earlier episodes, when I went to go see Black Panther when it came out, I was so hyped. I went immediately to a toy store afterwards, and there was no Black Panther toys on the market. None. I think the first wave of Black Panther toys came out like damn near a year later. Like the first wave of toys. You know what I'm saying? So it's, that checks out. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, that's why they've been stifled for so many years and not making the cool, creative, diverse movies. Now they're starting to make them. The problem is just the timing's, off on it. You know what I mean? People are kind of over the end game thing. They kind of got oversaturated. The parts that were right is that the audience oversaturation. Yeah. Like the Disney Plus shows did way too many of them.
Way too many.
We didn't need Moon Knight. We didn't need,
I forgot. I did not like Moon Knight.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
Terrible.
I forgot. I forgot about that, dog.
Yeah. That one.
Wow. Yo.
It's truly, truly bad
television. That was terrible, dog.
Yeah.
When I seen a talking hippopotamus, I was like, bro, what is going on, man? I'm over it, dog. Like,
there's no standard. No quality control, because Kevin Feige is overworked, man. So
I heard I think they said it in that Variety article. They were saying at the Ant-Man premiere that people were kind of like shocked because at the premiere the VFX was like unfinished.
Yeah, they're still using stuff from like the development, the previs and stuff like that.
Doing too much, man.
Yeah, they're doing too much, man. That's why again they gotta take a step back. They just gotta do fewer movies. I know the next movie they're doing is Deadpool 3 next year, and that's the only movie that's coming out 2024. But for me, okay, let me say this about the Marvels, and you can check out my review on First Cut. I already have me and Andres did a spoiler review there. For me, I actually liked the movie. You know what I mean? I thought it was good. I especially thought the last half of it was good. Like the second, after the first 40 minutes are atrocious. It's unbelievable how badly edited, how terribly paced that beginning sequence is. It's like almost from that point I wanted to walk out. Like,
yo, I was sitting there, and especially the scene where they was like transporting it. I was so lost. I was like, yo, like, what is happening? Why is this happening so quick? What is like, it's just paced terribly. The first, like 40 minutes or so you said. It's just a lot happening. And I already knew the film was short going into it because, Nia DaCosta was kind of like, why do you need a 2+ hour film? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. Like, give me 2
neither.
hours. Yeah,
me
give me
neither.
220 if it works.
Yeah, if it works. Because at the end of the day, I feel like in chopping it, you lost a lot of context. Things was just happening. But sorry to cut you off. Go ahead. Yeah.
But that's where again, that was like the choppiness of it. It's like they were just on speed, just like and then but then I think that comes a lot from they were talked about doing like test screenings for the film in Texas or whatever, and the test screenings, obviously were like not that good, I guess initially, but I feel like that's where you lost the soul of the movie was like trying to appeal to make it faster, go to the team up stuff quicker because that concept of them switching mid action scene stuff like that's such a genius concept. That could have been like a Nolan level like Inception kind of concept. Like if it was paced well, edited well, like it woven together. It was even better presented and edited in a trailer than it was like in the actual movie. So it's like if they would have did that. But then after it gets to that point, I thought it was fun. I also thought, again, because of the bad editing, because of the test screenings, they cut out a lot of the good stuff. I felt like, I know you probably don't agree with this. There's a sequence where they go to like a musical planet, and they, they're about to go into a singing thing, and you could clearly tell there was a musical sequence that was supposed to be in there, like a whole number that they were supposed to do that was just cut. Like they just go to the planet and then they go straight to like the king thing or whatever.
Well, they could have kept on cutting and cut that whole scene out because I know. And again, I'm with you, RB. I did enjoy the film. I think the fun moments were very fun.
Wow.
The fun moments were fun. Miss Marvel, what's her name?
Iman Vellani.
The character.
Oh, Kamala Khan.
Kamala Khan.
Yeah.
Her family was great in it.
Yeah.
Some of the issues I did have was the pacing. Nick Fury's character.
Yeah. Non-existent.
Not that it was non-existent, but unfortunately, I watched some of Secret Invasion, and just tonally, Sam Jackson was cutting ass and doing all it. Like he was very lively and jokey and stuff like that. It just felt like a different character. It didn't really ruin it for me, but it was just like, that's odd. Why is he like so quippy and it's just weird. But that musical, whatever that was supposed to be, because when I saw it in the trailer, I was like, it's like a Bollywood. I was like, what's going on? What's this Bollywood sequence? You know what I'm saying? And then when it was like, a planet where they all sing, I'm just like, oh my God, is this the way they're gonna shoehorn this musical? Which I love musicals, but it just felt so out of place in this film. And because it's cut down, it's even more unnecessary because it just goes nowhere. It's just like, why was that thrown in there like that? You know what I'm saying? So it's like the film, every time it gained momentum, something pulled back. And it was just like, luckily for me and RB, like we still came out of it enjoying it. I went with my daughter, she enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? But even my daughter, 9-year-old, she said that was her words, not mine. That was so unnecessary, the musical sequence.
Yeah. It could have been it would have been necessary if they had used that moment to build like a team building moment for them, like which I suspect the musical sequence probably would have been them trying to like harmonize together, sing together type thing. It probably was trash. Maybe that's why they cut it. Maybe they're bad singers or something. But I feel like if that's such a that to me felt subversive. Like we've never seen that in a Marvel movie before. Like I feel like that would have been a cool way to like Nia DaCosta put her stamp on like this movie. And it comes from Captain Marvel comic books. Like this is one of her like I think issue number 9. She like actually marries some dude who like from the scene. So it's like part of her story. So I wanted to, and the same thing with the cats. Kind of spoiler alert. There's kind of like a cat sequence that happens in there. But I do feel like if this movie was directed by James Gunn, people would have been like, "Oh, the musical's genius, the cast are genius, da da da." But then because it's directed by Nia DaCosta, like, nah, this is girly stuff. Cut it out, like, cut it out. We don't want that.
I agree.
The other thing I thought was lost was there's like such an interesting arc where Kamala Khan like is such a hero of Captain Marvel, but when she or Carol Danvers, but then when she actually meets Carol, like Brie Larson's is kind of like an a-hole to her.
Yeah, never meet your heroes. You know that term.
Right, exactly. But then they skip past that so quick too. I don't know.
It's
man.
the editing, man.
Yeah.
The editing really failed this film. It's literally mid, like, and not mid in the internet terms. Like the internet, mid means bad. For me, it's literally like there's things that I didn't like, and there's things that I did like, and it's just right in the middle for me. And it's definitely a filler film. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Marvel's definitely like, yo, like we want to hurry up and get to this, so we gonna throw this at y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I see people comparing it to Loki. Why? Why are you doing that? Like, there was a cool TikTok I had reposted where this kid was just like, yo, y'all don't want to have fun at the movies. It was like dead ass. Like, yo, just go in and just, I get it. The movies are expensive now. So yeah, you do want to be entertained, but I feel like this film has enough to entertain you. Mm-hmm. It's just, it also has things that you can, nitpick on and really like talk about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But and then the weird shit is, of course, again, these incel motherfuckers, it's like before the movie even came out, it's tracking to do worse than The Flash. It's like, it just nonstop. Same thing with Blue Beetle. Like I said in that episode, it's like, I get it. All right, it's not doing well. Why are y'all talking about it like it's like, yeah, look, like gloating at its failure? It's just like, all right, like, you know what I'm saying? And I honestly, there's people that went into it knowing that they was gonna hate it.
Yeah,
they're not looking for anything. They hate watching it.
Right. Which again, if you're going into a Marvel movie for that kind of intent, like, why even enjoying? Do you even enjoy Marvel Studios? Like, do you even? Because they clearly are interested in widening their audience. You know what I mean? They don't want to just keep making boy movies or guy movies or white guy
for
movies.
You, like,
right. We trying, I want to see. Like, I thought, I love Mrs. Marvel. Like, I thought Mrs. Marvel was like amazing. Like, I thought it was like I said it was like a Disney version of Watchmen. You know what I mean? It's like a Disney version of Watchmen because she goes back in time and it's like during that oppressive thing. I'm like, yo, this is kind of deep for like.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, it's like a kid's version of that, man. But they didn't, and I thought they did her character justice in this movie. I thought they did not do Tiana Parris justice in this movie, man. Like, she was just spitting so much scientific mumbo jumbo. It was kind of like they didn't give her any good moments.
Really disappointed in that. Like, I feel like Monica Rambeau was just kind of just here and there, like, kind of dismissed, and then they really was like, all right, black girl, go to the other. We're gonna send you to the other galaxy. Thank you. Let's throw you over there now. Which
I'm excited to see where that post credit scene is leading.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Can we let's y'all ain't gonna see it anyway. Some of y'all are not gonna see this film. Y'all already digging this grave. You're not gonna see it anyway, and you probably just went. I know somebody that was like, yo, I'm not gonna watch the movie. I'm gonna go to YouTube and watch this post credit.
Just for the scene.
The post credit scene now. She wakes up, after she goes to the other galaxy, she wake up in the hospital. She sees her mother, Maria Rambeau. But it's not Maria Rambeau. It is Binary from the X-Men. And then we see Beast, and they just explain that she's, they're trying to figure out where she came from, what's going on with her. And, sorry, now that we're talking about this, Marvel sold this film out. If you look at, I don't watch multiple trailers. I watch the teaser and then the official. That's it. But there's been people that have been watching the 5 or 6 trailers that dropped for this, and apparently there was a trailer that dropped before the film came out, where it says something like, "Wait till you see what's coming up next." And as the words was coming to the screen, it kind of illuminated the X.
Oh, really?
So they was kind of like, look, again, filler. We're setting up X-Men. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there was another trailer that was just kind of that had the post credit scene spliced up in the trailer.
Yeah, I saw there was one where you saw Maria, or like Monica, like in that thing, and then Maria kind of walked by with the blanket.
Yeah. So they sold this film out. I feel like it was almost like a dump, like a prideful dump. It's like, these movies they want to dump it in January, let you know this is gonna be ass. Here you go, January, top of the year. It's Marvel. They ain't gonna do that.
Right.
So they was like, yo, here, but we're gonna give you, we're gonna give the YouTubers something to work off of because we don't really have faith in this film. I feel like they sold the film out.
Yeah.
Key.
Yeah. I do wish. I wish they would. I always say, you know, Warner Brothers, they got a 4-hour Justice League movie out of Zack Snyder. You know what I mean?
Warner Brothers know what the fuck they want to do. They putting out some shit that they shouldn't put out, but then they scrapping shit. They like
have that Cody and
Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, which shout out to bullying. Yeah. Let me give props to bullying real quick.
It needs to make a comeback.
We need a bullying comeback for you incels, because it's y'all weirdos that used to get bullied before, and we trying to go easy on y'all, and now y'all are starting to take the floor, and you get on my nerves. But also, what happened with Warner Brothers? Like, I heard that filmmakers was canceling meetings that they had with Warner Brothers over that Wile E. Coyote film being canceled.
Yeah.
To the point where now Warner Brothers is like, shit, Netflix, do you want this? Amazon, do you want it? My bad. Like, you're wilding. David Zaslav, what are you doing?
Right.
What is going on over there?
Right. I don't know, man. They're not making good decisions. I mean, they're already starting to water down their content with the other Discovery content on Max. And they're putting, obviously the HBO shows are going on Netflix. So it's like, what's even brand reputation anymore? It doesn't even make any sense. So, but that's why it's just like, but if they want to invest in a 4-hour Justice League movie, let them be. But can Disney just give us an extended cut of the Marvels though? Like,
that would be
can we get a real version like that was actually properly edited before the dumb 13, 14-year-olds in Texas like saw it at a test screening and made it weird? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man.
I don't even know why we're relying on test screenings anymore. That's such like a dumb, antiquated system. Like especially for Marvel films, like they didn't used to do that for Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, they did test screenings for Guardians of the Galaxy, but they didn't let that like override what the vision was. So it's like, let there be a vision, let the filmmakers cook. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, man. Speaking of cook, hey, man.
Oh,
Thanksgiving is coming up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Thanksgiving is a good time to be with the family and all of that. And we decided, let's I was thinking of, Black films that deal with this. And I went to the genesis. I could pinpoint one film that influenced all the, This Christmas and all those other films that came after. And I landed on 1997 Soul Food. 1997 Soul Food. It's about a family in Chicago, 3 sisters, mother, kids, all that stuff. And they're just going through the motions when their mother, Big Mama, played by Irma P. Hall, kind of becomes sick and sidelined, and they kind of try to keep the family together and all that stuff. I don't know if there's a real story per se. It's just really just following the family through that whole situation.
Yeah, from the perspective of the
kid,
Ahmad,
played by Brandon T. Jackson, I believe is his name.
Oh, really? That's really him? Like early Brandon T.
Oh,
Jackson?
no. You know what? Can you look that up?
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck that up because I know it's not old boy that was in that Bow Wow movie.
Yeah,
he's Brandon T. Jackson, right?
Yeah. Brandon
Hammond. Excuse me, my bad. Brandon Hammond, not Brandon T. Jackson. Brandon Hammond. He plays Ahmad, and it's told from his perspective. And I saw the film originally in '97. My mom went to go see it in the theaters. I think my dad bought the bootleg, and I remember watching that film. And for me, it's one of the classic bootleg VHS experiences because clearly it was a black crowd watching this film. There was a lot of things happening there. You just heard them hooting and hollering, and it was like I felt like I was in the theater. And it was a film that I was watching a lot around that time. And then during the pandemic, the lockdown, I ran it back one night. I was bored, and I was like, "Yo, this is with adult eyes." I was like, "This is a really good film," and I hadn't watched this since. And it was like I was thinking about this situation. I was like, "Yo, Thanksgiving is coming up." I was like, "Yo, let me go back and watch that." Let me just give it, run it back real quick and see what's up with it. All-star cast.
Yeah.
Vanessa Williams, Vivica Fox, Nia Long, Mekhi Phifer. One actor I do not like that he's in this shit, Michael Beach. He plays Miles, Vanessa Williams' husband.
Oh yeah.
This movie and Waiting to Exhale was 2 movies that I hated him. Every time I see him on screen, ever since then. To the point, so much so that when I saw him in Saw 10, and he linked with Jigsaw and told Jigsaw about that scammy shit. And when Jigsaw got pissed off and was killing off all the people that scammed him, I said, please go and find that Negro that put you on. And sure enough, he did. And I was like, damn, I want to see him get gutted. I do not like Michael Beach. Michael Beach, my brother, God bless you. I'm pretty sure you're a nice guy, but you just play scummy characters. I'm sorry. You left Angela Bassett for the white woman and just told her straight up, like, yo, like, I'm leaving you. Like, you just put on a terrible path of destruction. Shout out to her. That's another movie we're gonna have to watch one of these days. We ain't text Hill. Shout out to her homegirls coming and getting her together. But you're a piece of shit, and you're a piece of shit in this movie. But let's go. RB, let me know what you thought of Soul Food.
Yeah, man, I enjoyed it. You know, I mean, actually, you know, when you recommended us do this podcast, this is my first time watching this film.
Get the fuck out of here.
So yeah.
You was born in '97 though, right?
Born in '97. Yeah. So, but it was funny. Like as I was watching it last night I rented it. My mom came down. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I love Soul Food." Like, da, da, da. She said she used to have the DVD like back in the day. Okay. But then I don't know why. I don't know why she never like showed it to me, or maybe she did show it to me. I forgot, but I didn't know anything like as it was unfolding. So it was a good movie, man. It definitely goes to the Black traditions of soul food. You know, Sunday dinners, being with family. My mom, said she got the idea of really doing like Sunday dinners in our household from watching this movie. Yeah. So it's just like, and then same thing with like the matriarchal society, matriarchal society that we have as Black folks. You know what I mean? Where the grandmothers and the mothers and aunties are really running the family. You know what I mean? So it really dives deep into that. And like you said, all-star cast. I believe it's directed by George Tillman Jr. Who ends up doing a lot of incredible films, including The Hate U Give, which was one of my favorites recently.
He did Notorious.
Notorious as well. Yeah, I really enjoy Notorious.
Notorious is okay.
Yeah, you. Okay. Yeah, I like.
I'm
that
from
one.
Brooklyn, all right. So
Yeah,
I feel
like...
it's very Hollywood Brooklyn to me, but but especially when you know Biggie's story is like I feel like that film had a sheen over it that was super safe and like it was not a PG-13 film, but it was just yeah.
Well, that's interesting about this movie too, because this is also an R-rated movie, but I feel like it's barely R-rated. Like,
when you see Michael Beach tearing up the cousin in the studio, you can see his cheeks and shit like that. Then it's definitely R-rated.
I mean, yeah.
Vanessa Williams just said, "Fuck the family, fuck my husband."
True. Yeah, there's a couple outbursts, but it's not like a crazy overt. And I feel like that's there's some levels of tensions and violence. There's some stuff, but it's not like the traditional 90s, like the gangster movies that they're making.
Oh, no.
Where a gun gets pulled out of nowhere and starts shooting. I mean, Mekhi Phife does pull out a gun, but it's just
there's elements of violence in it, but it is not like Jason's lyric.
Yeah, it doesn't just
a shootout out of nowhere.
Exactly.
A shootout over the Big Mama Sunday dinner shootout. Big Mama pull out the shotgun or some shit like that while music from the soundtrack is playing. Like, no, it's not all of that. Speaking of music from the soundtrack, it's definitely that. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a 90s soundtrack heavy film. Again, this soundtrack is like the spiritual. Oh, it's almost like a spiritual sequel to the Wayne Takes Hail soundtrack. I had the Soul Food soundtrack back in the day. One of the first albums I had on my first little CD player. I had the Soul Food soundtrack, and it's a classic soundtrack in itself. Boyz II Men, Mama. Total What About Us. Diddy is on there. Don't Stop What You're Doing. It's a Earth, Wind, and Fire September. That's how I learned about that song September, was from the Soul Food soundtrack.
Really?
Yeah, because I didn't know about Earth, Wind, and Fire when I was like 8, 9 years old. You know what I'm saying? So classic soundtrack is there's definitely moments. There's even like a literal needle drop.
Yes.
And they're playing
like
tracks from the soundtrack. Again, the great cast. 90s actresses, 90s black actresses.
Yeah,
they don't make them like that no more.
Yeah,
they don't make them like that no more. They fine and they hold their weight. Literally every single leading or the leading women in this film, I think this is all their best roles.
Oh, really? Yeah, I gotta think about that a little bit more.
Yeah,
but yeah, Nia Long. They call her. I used to call her cola because she's shaped like a cola bottle.
Okay, let's talk about that. Some of the criticism I do have for the film, as much as I enjoy it as a classic, the script is formulaic as hell. It's like
cheesy. The voiceover is a little cheesy to me.
The voiceover is one thing, but it's like, for example, the scene where Big Mama goes to the hospital. Oh, goes to the doctor. The daughters are there. They're helping her put on the sweater. I know they had a discussion with her about her situation. But it's like, as the camera zoom in, Vanessa went, Mom, you gotta stop eating that stuff. You have diabetes. It's like, no shit. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why Big Mom is. Why are you telling us this? It's like the exposition is being thrown at you 100 miles per hour. The scene you just spoke about. Bird, okay, let me tell you on the film. I'm pretty sure you saw it. If not, fuck it, you're gonna see it.
Right.
Mekhi Phifer's character, Lem, is out of jail trying to get his life together. Bird gets married to him. He's now a part of this family. He's looking for a job. You know how it is when brothers get out. They can't find work. He's looking for a job. And he lied on his application about his doing time or the fact that he has to say, hey, I did time. He's not getting jobs. Bird, Nia Long, decides to go link with her ex-boyfriend, who in the beginning of the movie showed up at her wedding.
Right.
Which is loose as hell.
Also, his ex showed up at their wedding too, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So why did all these exes showed up at the wedding? Like,
she was thick.
Yeah.
Mekhi Phifer, he was wilding dancing. What are you doing, bro?
In front of the family.
She was thick as hell. But, so now he shows up to the wedding. Clearly, he's still hung up on her. And she decides to go to him and try to get her husband a job and agrees, we'll do dinner. This does not make any sense. I don't know anybody's going to do this in real life. I feel like it was just crafted to create the tension. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, who would do all of this? Like, I just feel like there was moments in this film, there was like softball pitches. It's like, let me just give y'all something to react to or something to set up the next situation. But that scene when Mekhi Phifer starts working and he comes, he goes on his lunch break, and now this dude Samuel, played by Mel Jackson, who was like, he totally sold like the typical light skinned douchebaggery, licking his lips like he LL. You know what I'm saying? Come to the table with the cigar, like, yo, you smoke? Yo, he's on his lunch break. Why would he blow down a cigar on his lunch break indoors? What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? Comes in and then he starts talking, brothers, he's a very pull yourself up out of bootstraps dude, shout out to him. But then now he starts saying, Bird, he's like, I think he's like, Lem said something like, Kenny hooked me up with this job, Vivica Fox's husband. He's like, who? Oh, nah, it was. Then he starts telling, nah, it was me. And Coke, that's what we used to call her back in the day. And it's just like, he's just such a dick. It's just so brazen. It's just like, who is this dude? Like, and then he gets his ass whooped. But then, even the shot of his mouth,
that's so nasty.
Shout out to George Tillman, because he really sells, you gotta hate this dude. You know what I'm saying? So you show him lick the lips and just all of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like I always tell you, like with John Singleton, sets up tension perfectly. Like, you have no choice but to feel away when you see the way that scene sets up on that character. And then he proceeds to whoop his ass and he lost his job.
Right.
There's a lot of Lois Key. This is like what Tyler Perry wants to make.
That's it's funny because when I was telling my mom about this, I was like, this is definitely better than like the Diary of a Black Woman,
infinitely better,
or something like that. Family That Prays,
This shit it's like Citizen Kane compared to that.
Right.
I feel like these are the films that Tyler Perry wants to make if his ass would actually open up his writer's room and let other people do things and stop taking control of everything, because it's starting to affect the product. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all your film, you're doing too much, bro. You're doing too much. It's like, that's my little. I have issues with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard he's not good at paying actors either. Paying people,
And he had the nerve to have some thoughts about the strike. It was like, brother, you better sit this one out.
Right.
You need to sit this one out because the writers done blew the whistle on you a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But let's get back to soul food. So another convo for another day. This is just, even with all of that, like, this is little, I took notes of little things that I was just kind of noticing. The whole Big Mama diabetes angle just being force fed to us. Faith, the cousin that Miles has sex with, she's really in the film for one reason,
right? To like cause him to cheat.
She's just you just see it from afar, like she's just there for one reason, bro.
Right.
That's
I enjoyed it a lot. You know what I mean? I definitely enjoyed the charm of it. I enjoyed the spirit of just seeing blackness, black family.
Yeah.
Like there weren't, it wasn't like too much of like a poverty struggle. Well, it was interesting seeing the whole dynamic of Terry controlling Miles, like because of her money. You know what I mean? Like she being like, yo, you took $5,000 out the savings. Like
Yeah, she was a hard ass.
Yeah, right.
Kind of be like, yo, Miles, I feel you.
Yeah,
but
right,
it's
yeah.
like, nah, I don't feel you, but I feel you. Kinda. But no, I don't feel you. You know what I'm saying? You know, one interesting takeaway for me, and this is why the film also, and again, this is, as much as I said about the script kind of softballing certain things, the authenticity of the script comes in when I think about my family, because those 3 sisters and my mom and her 2 sisters, it's like mirror images. It's my mom is Vivica Fox, personality and everything. My mom is Vivica Fox. My younger aunt, Mandy, is definitely Nia Long. She's even a hairdresser just like Nia Long in the film. And my aunt Licia is definitely Terry. The very matter-of-factly, straight up, straight down, like no nonsense, just tough cookie. That's definitely my aunt Licia. And it's so crazy, like, to see that on film is like, wow, like that shit is definitely my family, like my family dynamic, you know what I'm saying? And that's why the film also rings true to me, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's like coming on home. And I didn't realize how short, like, Irma P. Hall, the Big Mama character, is really vital in the film for only 30 something minutes.
Yeah.
The rest of the film kind of she's in the hospital. The rest of the film, they just, not to say that it was mailed in, she plays, it's very one note though. She plays, just Big Mama,
Black Mama,
big Mama, big ass arms, Big Mama, your
good
arm.
cooking. Yeah.
She got the fire going on her arm and shit. Big Mama, she
get
get
that insulin.
So Big Mama wilding. Big Mama wilding, cooking up all that food.
That's a lot of food for.
Do not watch this movie if you're hungry.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of watching this shit when I was hungry, and ended up ordering some shit off Uber Eats I shouldn't have ate. Like, don't watch this film if you're hungry. The food looks so good, so good. Another little nitpick that I was thinking about is like, yo, first of all, that little boy's in everybody's business. He was kind of annoying me.
Yeah. Ahmad,
Ahmad is everywhere. He's in everybody's business. He got his 2 cents. It's just, I'm from a household, a kid needs to know their place. And he was irking me with that. But why did they leave it up to, why did his mom leave it up to him to get the family back together at the end? Well,
yeah, she didn't exactly even know, like.
But they had that conversation when they were walking, and she was just like, "You up to something?" And that's when she kind of caught wind. It was like, "Oh, okay, he's gonna try to get the family back together." Right. When really, you need to talk to your sisters and them. Y'all need to get back together.
Right, y'all need to figure it out.
That's for y'all to figure it out. He ended up doing that. Also, they talk about the money in the film.
Oh yeah,
and the money is this big myth, right? It don't exist. How the hell did he convince some of them that he'll get them? He convinced somebody he'll give them a cut of money that don't exist. It was just like, why? Like, what is you know what I'm saying?
Sell them on this myth. Yeah, I kind of took it as like, yeah, he's trying to sell them on a myth. But I kind of also took it like maybe they didn't like fully believe him, but maybe they just wanted to come back together anyway. Yeah, that's the way I kind of read it. Like, I was like, maybe like they didn't fully believe they were gonna get money, but at least they were gonna like get to dinner and then maybe like maybe see somebody else. But I don't know, you know what I mean?
And then because you leave it up to him, he go and invite Miles after Miles done popped off the cousin.
That's where it got. Yeah.
And he goes like, Miles, what's up? Yeah. Boy, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It could have been a great day if you didn't bring him back in the fold. He's not even really family. I mean, family, married to, but fuck him.
Right.
You know, but then again, he did know what happened because at the party, that's when Vanessa Williams snapped. And
she came in with at the party, yeah. And then, plus, I mean, yeah, she didn't. I mean, maybe, I don't know, he might have even heard like that because he walked
his
in
nosy ass knew. His nosy ass knew. By the time of the party, he knew what happened.
Exactly, because he walked into because he walked in with homegirl with Terry.
Let's go up to the studio.
Yeah,
hot boy, this little boy. He's really a troublemaker, lowest key. Right. He got on my nerves the whole movie.
Yeah, but that's funny though, because like when you talk about the relatability to the family, like that definitely is members of my family too, though. Like I'll say my my grandma, she has 2 sisters as well. Like, and then my grandma's definitely more of like the tough one, like the Terry kind. You know what I mean? And then my auntie Shirley's definitely more of like, they all have their own like kind of relations. But also talking about my family too, we also have an uncle who kind of stays in his room all the time too.
Oh, some Uncle Pete.
Clyde. Yeah, you got Uncle Pete here. Don't leave the house for nobody, nothing. You know what I mean? Except to go to a doctor and a bank. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's just funny. It was funny, but it was so cheesy when he comes out and knocks over the money in front of the fan, and then all the money starts flying all over the place. Yeah, I'm like, yo. I was like, Miles, this is like a black family dream. Man. This is literally out of like absolutely, and a fantasy come true.
And
like.
Again, and as you say that, going back to the earlier in the show where we was talking about the authenticity in black situations. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine a white filmmaker making this film.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? There's no way. There's certain little nuances in black families, certain little things. It's like the memes I see. Black families start a pack and stuff like that. You see like the water on the floor and shit like that. The light, when they say when in a black family's house when it's closed down for the night, we take off all the lights but leave that light right above the stove on. Like it's just these little nuances that if you are black, like you get it. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time I used to watch Cinema Sins on YouTube just for fun, and they did Friday one day.
Oh really? I know they did Friday.
And the shit that they was like, oh, this is a sin. This would never. It was black shit. It was like, what you mean this would never happen? This definitely happens. I got so offended. I'm like, I'm not watching this shit no more. Unfollow them and everything. Like, dead ass. Like it was just like, ugh. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just don't get us. So shout out to George Tillman. He said that this was definitely inspired by his family. Like I said, like I said, with my mother and her sisters, I definitely saw that in the dynamic between the 3 sisters in the film. And this is just it's a really good film. I remember the bootleg, the scene where Babyface and them is performing.
Right.
I Care About You, and Michael Beach is on the thing on the keyboard singing. I remember on the bootleg, everybody was crying, laughing when the shit got to him singing. It was just so, his ass ain't singing that song.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what also. So was he in a real group with Babyface?
No.
Like, in that,
Wait. In real life or in
the sequence? Like I guess that they were implying that he was like part of Babyface's.
Well, remember he was a lawyer or something like that. I was trying to be a musician, and that's why Terry was such a hard ass with him because he went and took out the $5,000 for the studio time, which he is wild for.
Yeah.
Don't like when you have joint accounts. Don't do stuff like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah.
You got happy wife, happy life. You gotta tell the missus. At the end of the day, like there's that power dynamic. When it comes to certain things, your lady just she got the floor when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
But
he's playing as a part of Babyface's band.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay.
Babyface, Casey and JoJo, and then Babyface's brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's just part of their band. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Milestone was the name of the group. I don't know if they had an album, but I know that song was on the soundtrack and it was named Milestone.
Oh, really? That's
so
funny. Yeah.
I can't really remember if they were a fictional group in the film named Milestone or they did try to do a super group situation.
Right. That's why I was kind of wondering. Yeah, I think because they think they did call themselves like
Milestone, and then his name is Miles, so it's like
But that's that's funny because that could have also putting that as the name on the album could have been a way to screw Homeboy out of money. Because I just saw a video with Terrence Howard talking about how Hustle and Flow, they put his character's name is DJ on the soundtrack so he couldn't get residuals.
Well, I'll say this. Babyface was definitely the executive producer of the soundtrack. So Babyface definitely made that song and everything. So I think that's all that money. Yeah, Babyface got that bread. He's good.
That's good. Okay. But you can see the music. And what was that song he was playing on the piano when Faith was dancing?
That's another scene that in the bootleg, I remember it was Don't Leave Me Girl by Blackstreet.
That's it.
The bootleg, when he started, everybody was like, oh! You hear it on the VHS. Everybody's like, oh! Seeing a movie with black crowds is like a top. It depends what type of black crowd, though. Like we said, there's levels of Negroes. I'm not just. My Brooklyn heads, if you listening out in Brooklyn, Linden Boulevard Multiplex. Them Negroes is not Negroes you want to see movies with. I think they shot at the screen for Exit Wound. Somebody was watching the movie and just and shot at the screen. Like, I don't think you want to see movies with them Negroes. But like, the communal movie theater experiences with black folks. And as we said in the last episode, they kind of market horror movies to us for this reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we talk to the screen and do all of that. So, yeah, the Soul Food bootleg VHS was definitely a memorable one of mine. And the film didn't hit the same when I saw it normal.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, that bootleg was bring back old school bootlegs, man.
Right, people recording in the theater.
Hey, fuck it, Hollywood barely tried to give y'all money, man. Fuck it, screw them.
Right.
Start bootlegging movies again, yo.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Yeah. Bring back the not VHS. I mean, bring back the bootleg though. Like we gotta let people get that movie theater experiences for the cheap. You know what I'm saying?
I saw people going into Oppenheimer in that big IMAX one, like bringing in their little camp with DSLR.
Stop lying.
They're trying to get the full. You know what I mean?
Stop lying. Yo, bootlegging Oppenheimer is crazy. Your arm gotta be stupid. Like you sitting there just like, unless you come in with the tripod. If you come in with the tripod, you're wild. Like you're a wild boy. But yo, holding that shit up for the whole movie, that's 3.5 hours.
Yeah, especially if it's like the big IMAX, like at the Chinese, you gotta like get it at the right angle.
That's crazy, bro. Shout out to you if you're doing that. That's probably a gym bro that's doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big ass Geo dude arms, just like holding
and
up.
steady as a mug too, like the whole time. Like,
that's
yo, what?
crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, man, yo. One major beef I have right now with Soul Food is the fact that it's not available to stream. I had to rent it, which I have. Listen, if the money is going to George Tillman and them, cool. I'm all for that. But why is that shit not streaming?
Especially it's this 20th Century Fox movie. Like you would think it'd be on Hulu.
I went to Hulu, not there. I went to Tubi and it wasn't there.
Yeah. Tubi got almost everything.
You feel me? I was surprised. I went to Tubi and it wasn't there, so I had to rent it. So Soul Food, if it's Thanksgiving, rated R movie, so you might not want the kids around, especially when old boys piping down short in
Faith,
the studio.
I had to kind of like act like I wasn't paying attention. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, don't you, whenever you watch movies with your parents, like a sex scene, come on, you gotta. You know what I do when I know it's coming out? I start to be like, oh, I gotta use the bathroom.
You try to do something like, I gotta make like an egg or something.
Yeah, I get the fuck up out of there. Let them, So even though the kid is narrating the film and stuff like that, it do get a little intense for the shorties. So you might not want the kids around, or you might want to try to skip around that scene. But definitely watch it this Thanksgiving weekend coming up with your family and stuff like that. It's a really, really good film, and like I said, it's a very influential film as far as late 90s. It's definitely early 2000 black film. I think it definitely paved the way for a lot of films. And
it's not like a Thanksgiving specific movie.
No,
but it fits in that same
because
vibe.
it's a family. You're gonna be with the family, man, and listen, man, all family got their shit. You know what I'm saying? And what message this film definitely gives us is like, yo, we all got our shit, but at the end of the day, we all got each other. So it's like, at the end of the movie, it's a very kumbaya moment. Everybody is planning in the backyard. That Boyz II Men mama is playing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Loving you is like food for the soul. You know what I'm saying?
That opening credits is like 3 minutes of just that song wilding with the pictures.
I'm telling you, them 90s movies, when they had them soundtracks to sell, they was like, yo, turn the volume up. Let these motherfuckers hear every bit of this song, because they need to take their asses to the record store and buy this album. You know what I'm saying? Yo, I'm telling you, like I said in the last episode, that Scream commercial that was on BET, they literally did a supercut with every black. Nev Campbell was barely in the freaking commercial, and she's the lead of Scream 2. And one thing they had Master P playing, and they showed you, and they left it on the soundtrack for a while. Read all these names, because your ass need to go buy the soundtrack, Negro. You know what I'm saying? Because they know, that was. I really want to bring back that element though. I love the movie soundtrack era. Like I love it, because a lot of classic songs came from movies. You know what I'm saying? That Wayne Tex Hill soundtrack turned 28 yesterday. Full of women. A whole bunch of women. Brandy, Whitney, Aretha, Shaka Khan. Classic, great music. Babyface produced it. Yo, man, like we got to bring. And you know what I love most about those? Boomerang as well. What I love most about those are that like it's conceptual, so it's like you could tell, and I heard in the case of Boomerang with like Tony Braxton's "Love Should Have Brought You Home Last Night." Halle Berry says that in the film. And I heard that for the Boomerang soundtrack, LaFace and you know the producers of the film set up screenings for the artists, like, yo, check this out, or you know, Babyface had to watch the film and then write to it. So I like that. I like that being used as a companion piece. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, a good soundtrack going a long way. I feel like the last good one, modern good one that we had was like Black Panther.
Oh yeah, the Kendrick, the TDE joint.
TDE. I'm not gonna lie to you, Creed 2 had an amazing original soundtrack.
I didn't hear that one.
That one, I mean, flies under the radar. A lot of songs aren't like the biggest impact, but I believe it's Jasmine Sullivan. No, sorry, it's Ari Lennox and J. Cole song. Shea Butter.
That's on Creed 2?
That came from the Creed 2 soundtrack.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was another one and they play it when Tessa Thompson and Michael B. Jordan are like having like a love scene. So it's like, it definitely came from that movie and it like became a moment too. So
dope. Yeah, man. Let's bring that back. Let's pump more money into the soundtrack. Let's do that, man. That was a classic little era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to hear the music over the actors. I want to hear all of that. I want to hear Stevie Wonder's harmonica over Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
No, I'm just playing.
It's blaring.
I'm just playing. That's kind of obnoxious. You know? Spike was wilding with that one. But it's so crazy because when I hear certain songs, I can't help but think of the film. You know what I'm saying? So that Boyz II Men, Mama, even though I think Boyz II Men is one of the worst, most overrated groups in my opinion, they're just corny. Boyz II Men is corny.
Oh, damn.
Let me ask you something. You know the song "I'll Make Love to You"? I'll make love. Do you feel yourself like, oh, I need to turn this on with my lady? No, it's just corny.
I mean, that's
it's just not sexy music. Like R&B is supposed to make you feel a way. Boyz II Men is corny, and they're corny. And I don't know if you be on TikTok. The people are starting to come out and talk about how they're assholes. Like they you know when they got popping, they was just kind of like, oh, we don't need Babyface. And it's like, yo, he kind of gave you a career. End of the road really put y'all into superstar status off the Boomerang soundtrack again. That's all Babyface. Like, why are you shitting on him? Like, they're assholes and they're kind of lame. So whatever, corny asses.
Good to know, man. Dang, I can't like new Boyz II Men, New Edition. You know what I mean? Questionable.
New Edition is cool.
I like New Edition, but I mean, people online don't like Bobby Brown. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't care about none of that. Yeah, Bobby Brown. Listen, I feel like the whole Bobby Brown thing is gas, and I think that unfortunately he's taking the burden for the unfortunate demise of Whitney Houston when it was really her own family that did that to her. Whitney was doing all that shit before she became what she became. And when she was on tour, it was her brothers, as you can see in the Whitney doc, which is amazing. The doc made by the filmmakers that made Amy Winehouse doc. Her brothers was out in Japan and stuff like that getting that hard stuff for her. So he caught the blame for a lot of that stuff. I'm not mad. Listen, we all had... I mean, whatever. I'll tell the story. My grandmother used to manage the movie theater. I've said it a few times. And she tells a story about the Waiting to Exhale premiere when both Whitney and Bobby showed up, sweating profusely and wilding out. My grandmother is a character. When she gets in her bag, she's a character. She acted out the way Whitney was on the bathroom wall, like sweating, and that Bobby Brown ran in the woman's bathroom and tried to get her. And women are like, "What the hell?" Yeah, they were a wild duo. You know what I'm saying? Much respect to Bobby, man. I have love for Bobby Brown, man. He's making barbecue sauces and shit now. I'm not cutting ass, but you look like TD Jakes now, but he's making barbecue sauces and shit. He's getting his life back on track. New Edition's about to go back on tour. He looks extra.
Like the 80th tour they did. How many tours New Edition gonna be on, bro? Because didn't they go on tour when they did the miniseries too? Like they did it.
Yeah, but and Bobby be looking tired on that stage. He's just like, Mr. Telephone. He's barely moving. But much respect to Bobby, man. We love you, Bobby. I got love for Bobby. I don't know about y'all. I got love for Bobby, New Edition, Ralph, all of them. I got love for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is episode 16, man. Kind of went off track there. It's all good. This is why y'all listen to us. Y'all fuck with the vibe, man. We talk movies. We talk about other shit too. Yeah, definitely go check out Soul Food whenever you get a chance. Definitely rent it, buy it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Disney, We want a Blu-ray.
Right,
What the what the fuck?
All right,
like,
come on, 4K. Give us something.
Hey, yeah, give me the 4K. I need to
Right.
see every bit of Michael Beach tearing down. I need to see Michael Beach tearing down.
That really was the only like bit of that we got to. I'm like, oh, good lord! Like, it just says it's just noises and butt cheek. Like no butt cheek. Like this is not.
He was tearing that ass. And then just left her. Just like, bye. You know?
And that was just kind of crazy that, like, Terry saw that happening and just didn't say anything. Like, she just kind of walked into the other room.
But she was fucked up at the party that night.
Well, yeah. She held it back.
Because remember, she's a prideful character. She was very, you know, so. See, this is why I like, this is where, like, as silly as the script could be at times, that's what I like about the nuances of the characters. Like, you kind of you really understand where they're coming from.
Right.
Like, yeah, things get thrown at you beat for beat. Things are supposed to happen, but you really start to understand certain things. You know what I'm saying? You know, even Miles, you know, oh, she don't support me. It's like, bro, you're wildin'. But then you think about it, she's like, yo, she's mean.
Yeah.
You know
she don't want this man to be happy. Like, his music. Come on now.
Faith wants you to be happy, though.
Yeah. Just after one conversation, you're just ready to cheat on your wife.
Just ready to, he was ready to just risk it all. He's a wild boy.
Yeah.
Again, episode 16, man. We covered all bases. Can we please announce the winner of the 8 Mile Steelbook?
Yeah. The winner of the 8 Mile sound. I'm gonna have to pull it up in our text. The homie is named Marlon Jamal Newsom.
What's his at?
His ad. I gotta get my phone to get his ad, but he on the gram. My phone's
I got it. I got it right now.
Yeah.
I got it right now. I got you right now. His
shout out to the homie.
Yeah, shout out to him. His at is Martin Jamal Newsom. Yeah, so
there we go.
So there we go. You won the 8 Mile Steelbook. You know what I'm saying? We still got some movies we got
a lot of movies, bro. We got Wizard of Oz 4K. You know what I mean?
If you into that, you know what I mean?
You know what I mean? They got the witches and stuff.
Woo!
Hereditary Blu-ray. You know what I mean? Come on now.
We got some new movies. I didn't know you had.
Yeah, nah. Staying stacking up, man. We got
A24, The Lighthouse.
Right, Lighthouse.
Very weird movie,
Blu-ray.
but if you're into that,
it's quite weird, but it's interesting. Mad Max Fury Road.
Great movie.
Now. Come on, let's get it done. We already talked about these before, but Fast and Furious, the first one,
Puerto Ricans. I know you want Fast and Furious.
Come on,
yo.
You're from LA. Come on, let's be real about it. Born Ultimatum.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Matt Damon fans out there.
Matt Damon.
Right. Hey, man, I saw Jamie Foxx is looking good. So if you want to celebrate with this law-abiding citizen,
there we go.
Blu-ray, you know what I mean? Because F. Gary Gray did this, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Scarface, classic. Man.
Classic bad film. But classic.
Classic bad film. And of course, like we talked about this before, the Big Smackaroo, the Jurassic Park 5 movie edition.
And if you get that, please give away Jurassic World Dominion. Just toss it, play with your dog, you know, use it as a frisbee.
Thankfully, this one doesn't even come with Dominion. It just is Jurassic Park through Jurassic Park Fallen Kingdom. So,
matter of fact, it still has Fallen Kingdom. Yeah. Use that as a frisbee. Whatever you do.
I like Fallen Kingdom.
It's free, so you ain't wasting no money. Just let your dog play with that one.
Yeah, man. Don't miss out on these Blu-rays, y'all. If all y'all gotta do is just leave a comment on the Apple podcast if you're listening on the Apple, or subscribe and follow on the Spotify.
Subscribe. I know y'all check for us. Shout out to y'all that check for us. Just subscribe though.
Yeah.
It just make it easy on yourself. Mm-hmm. You get the alert when we drop new. Stop asking me. When you drop a new, stop asking me. Right. You're gonna get the alert when it drops.
Yeah, man. So stay locked in, y'all. Somewhere people can follow you, or you can follow me. Sorry, you can follow me at Director RB3.
Director RB3. Yeah. You can follow me, Mr. Marin Knows, MrMarinKnows. You can follow me Twitter, I refuse to call it X, Instagram, and then you can follow Real Talk Film Society on Instagram, REEL Talk Film Society, and then we're also on Twitter. I'm trying to utilize the Twitter more. I need to get better with that, because when I'm firing off movie takes, I'm like, yo, I need to be doing it on the Twitter account. It's Real Talk Film Soc. I couldn't put society, so it's Real REEL Talk Film SOC on Twitter. So please show love. We got a blue badge on Twitter, you know what I'm saying? So show love, you know what I mean? Even though I canceled my subscription because I don't want to give that man any more money. But I still got a blue badge. I guess I paid for it for life. I don't know.
Good.
But,
all right. See, it works. See, I mean, man, I gotta do that then.
Hey, fuck it. $11.99. I guess.
Yeah, let's go.
So
yeah, man. Follow some First Cut if you
Yes.
see the clips and stuff, and also if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube First Cut as well.
Yes. So
yeah.
that's episode 16, y'all. We will be back soon. We got busy schedules, you know what I'm saying, but we're gonna try to get at y'all. So we'll talk to you. We see you when we see you. Peace.
Coming soon to a theater near you.
I think in the end, the question that you can be left with is how long will you be complacent with racism? How long will you go along with something and not say something, not speak up? How long will you be complacent? And I think that's because this film was not made for an Osage audience. It was made for everybody not Osage. For those that have been disenfranchised, they can relate. But for other countries, that have their acts and their histories of oppression, this is an opportunity for them to ask themselves this question of morality. And so that's how I feel.